Hey everybody, welcome to March 20th. This is the first day of spring, right? So it's the first day of spring. So welcome to our Marriage Third Marriage Mondays. I am Charles.
And I'm LaTia.
You was a little slow with that. But this is Marriage the Third Ring. So thank you guys for joining in. We appreciate, again, as always, your time, joining us on our talks. As always, we got something new today, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe, like that says, and click the bell notification just to be notified when Marriage the Third Ring does go live. We'll be doing some other things, but make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the bell. That helps our channel go ahead and reach many people. Go ahead and reach you guys, and it also helps us to kind of reach the masses out in YouTube land. So we appreciate it. So go ahead and do us that favor. Thank you so much. So yeah, we got some good stuff going on. If you saw the title, we're actually going to be talking about one of our blog posts, and it is entitled "Marriages After the I Do."
Hey,
I'm sorry.
slow down a little bit.
Hey, I'm sorry.
So, first, I really didn't know it was the first day of spring. I thought it was the 21st.
I thought it was today.
I don't know, but it might be.
That's
what I was thinking about. But, so, you gave the marriage after the I do.
Yeah. First day of spring, Monday, March 20th. Yep.
So that's good. Good job, because I don't know, y'all. So, yeah, somebody said spring fight back because it's cold here.
It's spring and winter is having a fight. Yeah. So she has issues with sinuses, so she's not really a spring person. But I ain't got that issue. But yes, the title of today is Marriage is After the I Do. And the reason why it's an important topic to talk about what marriage actually is and how marriage is after the I do. I was like this, and I know a lot of people that don't have an example of marriage may or may not know this, but when you get married, the work doesn't stop just because you got the ring on her finger. And a lot of marriages end because there is the misconception that you got the wife, but you still got to do work to kind of keep your marriage. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about here today.
Or the husband.
Yeah, so y'all know the whole happy wife, happy life thing. That may be true, because sometimes I just kind of want to sit on the roof and let her have the house. But, but men deserve happiness too. And it's not just that the women are the only ones that need to be happy. BJ's using accents. But it's not just the men, that deserve happiness. But your happiness isn't necessarily going to come from each other, but you shouldn't be the reason why there is no happiness in the marriage. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of...
No, I want you to rewind it a little bit. Help us out. Break it down for us. So what you say is not just the men or not just the women?
Not just the men. So the women and the men both deserve happiness.
Okay.
But I don't think I should be your source of happiness. Mm-hmm. That's something that has to come within you. And you should have brought your book down here. I'm sure that book says something about that.
You good? Go ahead. I'm following you today. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. I'm not her source of happiness, but I shouldn't be the reason. I shouldn't be
the reason I'm unhappy.
I shouldn't be the reason why she's unhappy.
And actually, y'all know I gave him a hard time, but I'm actually going with that because I always say that, our emotions and our happiness, you can't put that on someone else.
Yeah.
You have to be able to own that yourself. But like he said, if there is someone that's causing you some turmoil, or if you know that, I'll use an example. I'll actually start with the woman. If I know I am the nagging wife, that he cannot come home and have peace, well, he won't be happy coming home. Not Absolutely. Saying that he's not a happy person, but he won't be happy in the environment if I know I am nagging or contributing to that.
Right.
Vice versa.
Right.
If he's the husband that just come home and expect meals to be cooked and sit down, put his feet up, or in Charles' case, want to just get on his computer and, no attention, no showing love, not helping his part out, helping out with homework, then that's not going to make the wife be happy in that situation.
Right.
So I think where we were going, like you said, is certain situations can cause you to feel unhappy, but you're not an unhappy person, but that situation is making you unhappy.
Right. So it's like I could be a happy person, but I come home, like she said, it's a whole lot of chaos going around, which, with our 4 boys, it generally is. And she's my peace. Let's put it that way. She's my peace. So, but if I'm not finding peace in the house and I'm unhappy about things that are transpiring in the house, that's something that we have to work on together.
I like how you put that. That's something that you have to work on together. So, not saying that if I'm not finding peace in the house, I can go to the club or the bar or Jimmy or Sally's Ann's to find peace, or Billy Bob's.
Who's selling it?
I don't know. But I mean, I can't go there. I ain't want to say Tyrone or something. But or Becky, like, you know, them are the names we know these days. But I can't go there to find peace. We have to work on that piece together, and that comes from communication.
That comes from communication is a big piece of that.
Yep. So that goes into the whole segment of marriage being after the I do.
Right. So it's like, hey, we kicked this field goal, we got this point, we scored the touchdown, we had a home run, but game ain't over. The game is not over. The goal of marriage is till death do us part. So once you get that into your mind, that hey, just because I got the ring on her finger, I might have won that, but you know the game continues on. We got to keep going until death do us part. That's the end goal. That is like the ultimate goal of marriage.
So I want to take it a little bit back, before the I do. So before the I do,
frat house.
or the frat house, the fellow Q that's on here tonight. But but I want to take it back because before the marriage, right? Women are very happy, and you always hear, "Oh, I'm searching for my husband." Yes, I'm getting married. So you are super happy. You got the ring. Yes, he asked me to marry him. I got my prize. But are you putting in the work that you're going to need to build that foundation? Because there's so many people that won't even do premarital counseling because they feel like they don't need it. You know, they won't do premarital counseling. They won't do premarital coaching. So you're happy. You're getting married. You don't even know who will go take out the trash. Right. When y'all move in together.
And that's why we do Simba Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts, because it asks you a lot of these questions. And I remember we counseled a couple, coached a couple, that's our thing. We coached a couple, and you know they went through our Simba's program, and the pastor that they ended up doing their marriage counseling with was like, you know, did you guys already do marriage counseling before? Because it sounds like you guys have it all together. And not tooting our horn in that, but when you get in front of marriage coaches or even your pastor that does your marriage counseling, that's only to help benefit you in your marriage.
Yes.
And some of the situations that may arise in the future.
Oh yeah, because Simbas talks about literally like things you don't think about. If you decide to have children, who's going to stay home with the children? Who's going to go to work? Will you both work? You might be marrying a husband that he knew his mama stayed home, raised the kids, cooked all the food. That is not your lifestyle. My husband, no, don't want to do all that. But
she said she's not domesticated.
But that's not your lifestyle. But that is what he expects. If you do not have that hard conversation, you will never know.
Absolutely.
The husband, I might be marrying a husband. I'd be like, I want to sit home all day and not do nothing. I am marrying you, and my daddy took care of everything, so that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, that might not be the story. Not my story. You know, a lot of so things. I mean, he could if he let me. If he want me to turn off everything, he'd be like, "You can't take these trips." But no, but you got to be able to have those hard conversations and move those big rocks and talk about those things. So that's why before the I do, you got to find out what's going to happen after the I do, because marriage is after the I do.
So as she segments into that, so we're going to go ahead and bring up our, so this is actually based on a blog post that we did a few years ago. Now, when I redid our website, it unfortunately lost the date timestamps. But if you go to nt3r.net, you see it says marriage is after the I do. So here's our blog post. So if you have not seen our blog or haven't visited in a while, the site has been completely revamped. So I've been working hard on that. But definitely make sure to check out the blogs here. You can see all the posts that we've done. There are quite a few of our blog posts. A lot of different things that are enriching to your marriage. But like here, what it says, marriage is after the do. I do. So I don't want to read this whole thing, but I'll read an excerpt of it. Marriage is something special, true indeed. The way two people can come together and not only live together, dealing with each other, others' differences, but also cover each other in God. And that's a good key piece thing, that you cover each other. So when she sleep, I'll pray for her, but I usually fall asleep early. before her. But she will definitely pray for me, and even as I wrote here.
Because when you say cover, because you talked about praying, but go ahead and cover. Don't just. I do like to be covered up with a cover, but
I do that every day.
But covering when he does, he, like you hear people that you're covering. So by praying for one another, by speaking life into one another, so that's covering one another.
Like speaking well and speaking positive. Because she goes through a lot of things herself, having to deal with kids and nursing and all that and school stuff. So it didn't have to come home. So it's good for me to speak well and positive into her life, even in times when she may not think she needs it. But if you start thinking and replaying the things over your mind, you never know kind of where you can lead.
Oh, I always need it, trust me. But not in these day and ages, we always need it. So, yeah, go ahead. You can finish. I just wanted to elaborate with cover just for the terminology because as a background, marriage to third ring is you, your spouse, and God. And that's the third ring. So when we speak, we are speaking biblical principles.
Absolutely. All right. So many nights, this is the funny part though. Many nights I've woken up with an oily pillow because my wife was praying for me and thought the little dab of anointing oil was just not enough. So sometimes my pillow...
I didn't baptize you in it, but...
I mean, honestly, the little oil stains. But as funny as that is, even that as much as more to understand, the process of marriage starts at the vow and it just continues on from there. The word process was used purposely because a marriage itself is a process. But where people often get in trouble is that they forsake the process by living life on autopilot. So kind of pause there. We have definitely done that ourselves, just lived life on autopilot. And like she said, she said a couple times, after year 3, she was ready to be done with the marriage.
Oh, yeah, I've said that. And can we actually just pose a question to our audience? Yeah. Because we like interactive. And so just to pose a question to you all. And actually, like I said, we will have a call-in number, which will be 704. He'll type it in. Yep. 412-1990. Because you could type in your comment. You could call in and say something. But because somebody said they be typing and they had more things to say. But we do have that because we want people to be able to let us know. But you were saying something about autopilot. Go ahead.
We were living our life on the autopilot, and I said after year 3, you was about ready to be done with the marriage.
Oh, yeah, because I don't know if that was autopilot. I used to say after year 3, we was ready to be done with it because, he stopped writing my poems. He got comfortable. He stopped writing my poems and everything.
Okay, y'all, this is like the 4th live in a row she's mentioned.
You brought it up, so that was one of the reasons. But it was just a lot of things that was happening before the I do that was not taking place after the I do. And what takes place after the I do is what really counts. It's not like you get it. It's like, don't be like, oh, you get me, and then that's it. Because no. Now, it's almost like having a baby. Yes, it's fun. Oh, it's super fun making that baby. But then you got to have the baby. So when the baby starts coming, it ain't fun for the woman when that baby coming in this world. Because of everything we got to go through to birth the baby into this world. And then you got to raise it. So it's fun making a baby. But Lord Jesus, you gotta raise it, and you gotta birth
marriage
it.
Marriage is just that same way. It's fun getting married. Everybody sees the pictures. You have all the glamour shots, but
you might even been saving yourself for marriage and all that good stuff.
Because the dress wasn't off white; it was pure white.
Yes, so you was ready for that husband. But Lord Jesus, what happens and what is your staying power? After that, I do.
And it's about raising that baby. So developing and processing, going through the process of your marriage.
And then autopilot. And then my question I was going to pose is, can y'all give me an example of a time when you might have been in autopilot? So give
the
me
number is 704-412-1990. Someone at Perry asked about that.
Yeah. But yes. So can you give me a time that you might have been living life in autopilot? Because it's easy to do. You get comfortable. You come home. You know the routine. Sometimes you can even You can even put sex into autopilot. I'll put it that way because it's on your checkoff list, and you like, oh dang, I gotta get the kids together. I gotta do this. Oh, let me take care of this. Oh, I gotta study. You know, you could put that in autopilot, but your spouse could know, and you're not emotionally connected. So sometimes even that can be on autopilot. So it's and the autopilot is when you can shift into gear.
So what autopilot? So.
He's like more technical because I was going to just break it down. Go ahead.
So if you're in a plane, the pilot's not sitting there driving the whole time. They put autopilot on because there's a pre-plotted out route that they know they need to get from point A to point B. But they usually will turn off the autopilot if they run into situations with turbulence. So there's nothing wrong with going on autopilot for a season, but you have to know when to come off of it.
I like that. Okay, now we're going somewhere.
Hold up. Come on, play that back though. No, there is nothing wrong with going on autopilot for a season because you're just going from point A to point B. But sometimes during your travels, you'll run into situations where there's turbulence.
That was a turbulence.
And you have to turn off that autopilot and make some adjustments. Sometimes we'll just stay right on autopilot and try to fly through turbulent situations and wonder why the passengers in the back are tripping. You know, you got the mask coming down, everybody screaming and hollering, nobody know what's going on. But that's what happens, though. If you don't turn off that pilot during turbulent situations, somebody's going to feel it.
Somebody will feel it. So
that was good, though.
Are you giving yourself
I did. I'm sorry. I really did. That was good.
Not very humble, Jesus. But no, that actually was good because when you are in autopilot, turbulence can come. And you got to make sure you take back control.
Absolutely.
So when you feel like your marriage is hitting some rough spots, just rewind. Last week we talked about your why. Mm-hmm. So rewind it back and take back control over the things that you have control over. And your marriage is one of the things you had control over.
Absolutely.
It was a reason that you all fell in love with one another because I hope you weren't just so infatuated with the dress or the thought of being married or the idea of being married that you got married.
And that happens.
Yes, but that you were actually in love and you loved that person that you were going to say that you were going to spend the rest of your life with. Because you were spending the entire, you know marriage is to death do you part.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so don't marry a crazy spouse. They might try to kill you, Jesus. But no. So that means you in it to win it. You're in it for the long haul. We know things come around, but when you take those vows, it's to death do you part.
Absolutely.
Any questions so far? Just let us know if there's any questions as we go on, because y'all know we'll just be talking.
I feel like Perry gonna call in soon. So but yeah, we'll go back ahead and finish reading the rest of this here.
Okay.
So where do we end up?
Autopilot.
So by living life on autopilot after turbulent times, or even right after the I do, or a few months down the line, not really understanding the process and what it takes to have a healthy marriage. A healthy marriage, any health relationship requires open communication, and marriage is of no exception. So let's start there. This work week, improving your communication with one another. Set aside time to talk with your spouse regards to your vision, your goals, aspirations, and not just about kids, your house, or your bills. I don't know if we want to talk about that, but hey, I asked my wife the other day what her happy place is, and that is a loaded question because I know my wife. And as we laid in bed just watching TV together, her response was just spending time with me and where she doesn't have to think and overanalyze. And I know for her, not having to think and overanalyze is a big thing. We were actually sitting up. Was that last night or night before last? And she just started with these weird questions. Not really weird. She just started talking, and next thing I know, it's midnight, and both of us got to go to work. And
the weird questions was like, what
it wasn't weird.
It was about your wife.
It was okay. Yes, no, the questions themselves were not weird, but I already had like a night thinking like there was something going on with you, like up in your headspace. But anyway, what I usually do when I happen. I go to sleep.
You normally go to sleep?
Yeah.
Because you think he doesn't like to go deep. So if I'm talking about like Where do you see your life in 5 years? I was asking stuff like about spirituality, like where's your relationship with God lies? Things like that.
But those are good questions to ask, though.
It was.
I ain't gonna beat you.
Hold on, y'all. We have a call coming in. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
Hello? Hello?
I have a question.
Okay, so first we do have a call. So can you tell us your name and where you're from?
My name is Anonymous.
Okay, the name is Anonymous.
Okay, Anonymous.
And then we cannot see no numbers on here, so we have no idea who's calling. Okay, what's the question, Anonymous?
Mute your TV.
I'm sorry. What was your question?
Okay, mute your TV so we can hear you.
Oh.
And you don't have to tell us where you're from. You can ask the anonymous question.
Alright. I'm gonna mute it for a second. It won't let me mute.
Okay, that's okay. Just turn it down. Let us know. Ask the question.
Alright, so my question is, could LaTia share more information about when she was ready to call it quits after 3 years? More in-depth information other than just the love letters not happening.
Okay, that's a good question. I'll share that.
More information and then how you do not feel that same way anymore.
Okay, those are great. Those are great questions. Is that the end of your questions?
That's all.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll answer that.
All right, thank you, caller.
So the questions was, why was I ready to call it quits after 3 years? And so more in debt. Okay, and then how do I not feel that way anymore? Okay, that was a great question.
So I know why, honestly.
How you know what? Okay, go ahead. Let's see what you got to say.
I mean, from my perspective.
Because the question was directed to LaTia.
The question
but I
was,
want to hear you. Go ahead.
But I do know why. Because year 3, what was we doing? Was I in school? Yes, I was.
Oh, yeah, you was.
So I was living life on autopilot. So I would go to work, and then I would go to school, and then I wasn't dedicating enough time. I wasn't carving enough time out of my life for her. So I missed that turbulent moment. So because I missed that turbulent moment, she was panicking. So she was like you ever been on a flight and like the flight's getting rocky, you're like, okay, I'm ready to get up off this plane. This plane needs to hurry up and land because I'm not sure if this is a safe place to be. So that's how I feel like how she felt about this situation, because I wasn't carving out time out of my life for her because I was on autopilot focusing on providing financially for the house. And then at the same time, I was in school. So I was trying to better myself educationally so I can better provide financially for the house. But I missed her at some point.
That's so sweet. And as you
So
can see,
that's
the end of the question.
She was saying wrong.
No.
Okay, no.
No,
But the
I got
end of that
this.
question was how did we get over? Okay.
No,
okay,
this
go
is
ahead.
me.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you. But as you can see, the end of the question was seeking wise counsel because we needed some counseling.
Yeah.
And not all counseling is wise because the first counsel so I'll go back, but I'm answering the end of the question first. The first counsel that we actually sought, that we thought should have been the counseling we needed, was not the counseling we needed. That, just being open and transparent, that counseling was like, y'all saved, y'all married, y'all got kids, suck it up. That was the response we got. I'm not that type of person because I didn't believe that God put us on this world to struggle, and that's not what I signed up for. Even though I didn't see marriages ahead of me and how they should have been, I knew that wasn't the right counsel. So we had to seek further guidance to learn how to navigate through those situations. That's how he was able to answer the question like that, because he took ownership on his part, and then I took him on mine too. So we got married and had a baby literally 9 months later. And no, I was not pregnant when I got married. I believe I got pregnant on my wedding night. So we got pregnant, immediately had a baby 9 months later. By year 3, we had 2. So by year 3, we had 2 babies. Both probably. He was mainly in school. I might have been in LPN school, maybe close to then. So it was a lot going on. Financial, stressors just outside. Not the quality time wasn't there. We have a baby and a 2-year-old. So that quality time was not there. Then of course, no, there was no poems being written. So my thing is like, what did I sign up for? Because all the stuff he did to get me, it was like, oh, I'm going to dangle this carrot in your face and now I'm going to snatch it back if I was the Easter Bunny or something. I don't know. I just think about a bunny. But so it was like, oh my God, this is not what I want to do. And I was always raised I was not pregnant. And I was always raised very independently because I was raised by a single mom, an independent mother. And I was like, if I'm going to stress like this with somebody, I could do that myself or better. And
she did go.
and so that was my mindset. And my mindset wasn't, let me work this out because there will be better in the end. But it took us to learn that it probably was some more years down the line that we learned it was bigger than us. But I thought about the kids. I thought about my father not being there he was there, but he wasn't in the house. But, he played a pivotal role. He just was not, in the city and in the house I was in. And so those were some of the things that made me be like, I don't want this. Literally picked up my phone, called my pastor at the time and said, nope, don't want to be married anymore. This is not what I signed up for. And then, but it took some praying, honestly. And I'm telling y'all, I was the type that you could pray because I don't want it. But it took some people though to trust some people, let people intercede for me and actually seeking some wise counsel.
And I think in the midst of that, like she said, we had a lot going on. So the process of marriage, we completely skipped out on. We were just like, okay, we live in life now. You the wife, I'm the husband. These bills need to get paid. Now, boom, like she said, 9 months later, these kids come in. So now we got to feed these kids. But we skipped completely the process of marriage, and that was
that initial connection with just us.
Yeah. Yeah, we missed out. So a lot of married couples, well, I don't know about a lot. I don't know the statistics on that. But some couples, when they get married, they get some time to spend with each other and are able to go through that process without, you still got life, you still got bills. And Perry says he's playing the kids. So you still have life and you still have the bills. But, hey, at least you're able to spend time with just each other. But we had a lot going on, even though we still have a lot going on. But we're now taking that time to make sure that we're connecting with each other and we're going through the process of marriage. Marriage is a continual process. Marriage itself should be a verb, really, honestly, really should, because it's something you do, it's not something you just obtain.
That's good, yeah. And we still, even after that, we came together, I was good, and then down the line, there was more bumps. So bumps because guess what? You jumped back into autopilot. So there were times we actually had to have kids was playing a game, Little League game, so we went to practice, set to the side with our notebooks and pencils, and had marriage check-ins. What am I not liking? What is he not liking? Yeah. What do we need to work on? What we need to come together? So it was like a business meeting because, hey, you have 2 different individuals coming together. And then just think about it, even now, we got married at 21. This is 42. For him, y'all, I'm still 25. But this is for him.
No, I thought you still shopped at Forever 21. That's what she told the kids. But is Forever 21 even thing?
Yeah, hush. But you growing. I wouldn't want him to be the same person he was at 21 because he was a nerd. But I would not want him to be the same person. Y'all, I did great on his glow up. I give myself credit for that. Me and God did an amazing job. But they say
you're giving God that
they say you beautify your skin with salvation. But no, but that hopefully, caller, wherever you are in cyberspace, you get that answer. And you can always inbox, email that number. And honestly, when that number shows up, you guys, we only see it as that number. Mm-hmm. I don't know where you're calling from because it's only that number. So that was fine to be anonymous. So that actually was a good question.
And then you answer, how big nerd? Dang. I can't win for losing on here.
And how we made it through was, like I said, seeking wise counsel. And like I said, all counsel is not wise. I don't care how long.
Stephen Arkell.
I don't care how long someone has been married, because honestly, they might be in the most miserable marriage it is. But all counsel is not wise. So seek wise counsel and pray. Get into your Bible, get into your word and pray. We birth why is this marriage so important to God? Just out of us thinking ourselves that our marriage was bigger than us, and that quitting wasn't an option because how many people's lives we touch. And so then I told God, fine, if you will make us get with more power comes great responsibility, then we need the tools to be able to make this work, because I refuse to be miserable in life.
So I was, nobody wants to be miserable.
Right,
I was telling somebody the other day, like, we got married at 21, which itself is a hard thing to even say because people ain't really doing that these days. But people, I don't know if anybody's really doing it. I
got a 20-year-old. He better not come here next year talking about I'm getting married. I'm like, what?
but then 20 years later, to still be in the same relationship, only have 4 kids by the same woman. Honestly, that's rare, and it's not because of we are just so great and because we didn't want to call this thing quits at one point, but it was because we first sought wise counsel. We were at least wise enough to do that, and then we prayed about this thing. We would pray, and then we created Marriage the Third Ring because we saw that there was a need, because this wasn't something that we were taught. This wasn't something that we kind of just fell into just by being married or anything, but this was because we actually recognized the hand of God on marriages itself, and because we know that marriages are really important.
Yep, and I want to just comment, because when it says having small children is tough. If anybody know my life, Jesus, every 2 years, I was pregnant. And then the 1 year that I wasn't pregnant, 2 years later, my brother said, you ain't pregnant? And a couple months later, I was pregnant. So we have them wonderful children that are 12, 15, 17, and 19. Yeah. But, so having them, and then young boys are rambunctious. They're very busy. Now they can go into their own corners, but dealing with that is a stressor of its own. So sometimes especially
being the only woman in the house, right?
But sometimes even making sure that you find things to do. That's when we started, date boxes was out and stuff like that. You find time to maybe find a trusted sitter or something. But anytime you can, in between school. Yeah. At one point, I worked while he went to school. He worked while I went to school. Sometimes we was doing them both at the same time. Anytime you can, find a few moments, if it ain't nothing but sitting outside on the porch when the kids are down for a nap. Find a few moments just to sit next to each other and find out, ask each other, why do you love me? Make your spouse, if you have a spouse that's, dealing with young kids a lot, do things to make her feel beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Or like at one point, Charles was home and I was working, come home and spend quality time with him and let him know, maybe he just need adult conversation or something. So find those little in-between times, because trust and believe is not a perfect situation to make things happen. If anybody else have any pointers as to, I seen Sister Tanisha on here, and I know they hit, about 20 something years. They've been married longer than us. So and now they have older children as well that's in college. But finding those things that help you work together, whether it's doing a small business together or something, just to create whatever time, cook a dinner together, whatever time you can to find each other. If one spouse been home with the kids all day, you try to take the kids the next day. When you get home.
Used to do. We need to get back to doing. We used to cook together a lot.
We did.
Yeah.
Now I make the kids cook. They old enough to cook. But did you finish your
No. I think we're good because I think I went through this whole blog post. Most of these posts are not very long.
They're not. We want them to be it. And Charles wrote. So throughout the post, and honestly, it might have been something we were feeling. We got into our word, and a way for us to express ourselves is we wrote it. we wrote it together.
Yeah.
So make sure people hit the like button and subscribe as well.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Do it again.
Okay,
Since they came in since you started.
So if you have not, well, I'm sure you have. Go ahead and hit the subscribe, notification bell. Hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it.
A shout out to my unofficial producer, Miss Ashley, for giving me making sure we did that. Ashley J. Yes, go like her YouTube page. But we just wanted to make sure that.
Oh, she said 25 years.
Oh, 25 years.
Yeah,
See,
that's awesome though.
That's amazing. And they had young children, because I seen them. We've known each other for a little while, but they were young, and they raised them, and now they're older, but they had them, close together as well, as long as even, helping out with some of their others. So that's a blessing. So it's a challenge, and then you learn how to reconnect with one another.
Yeah. So
it's been a challenge for everyone, but that's why I love the ones that, been through it, because as we know, it is a constant roller coaster. You might slip, but like you said, you hit turbulence. Yeah, that's gonna be the new one. We used to go over marriage mosquitoes. Now you might hit some turbulence. But yeah, so make sure you hit the like and subscribe. And I was saying something before I said that, but it was just mainly
you was going somewhere.
I was going somewhere, but that's okay. We just want people to know that marriage is hard after the I do. So make sure you get you some good married friends. Some marriage mentors are also good. And make sure you seek wise counsel. I said that last time. If somebody cannot...
It's important.
Yeah, if somebody cannot stand their spouse, that might not be the person for you. You might need someone that's not so...
Or you just can't stand them for this season.
Oh.
Yeah, Sister Tanisha, you're going to have to go back and hit the replay because some good nuggets got dropped earlier.
He tooting his own horn, but that's okay. But you might not like him for this season. That's why I love the Power of a Praying Wife book, because it talks to you even about praying for your spouse even when you don't like them, and that's a hard thing. But prayer is key to get through a lot of these situations. But that's why I want everybody, even if you got married and didn't do marriage counseling, I feel like even if you're married, having a counselor or a coach is always good, because my husband doesn't. He'd be like counseling, but I feel like it's always good for check-ins.
Yeah, no, check-ins is good. I'm not gonna say I don't like talking. I don't, honestly. But much better answer. Thank you, Perry. But I don't like talking all that much.
She said she been there from the beginning. Now, look.
Oh, she has. Oh, okay. All right, then bet. But no, I don't. It's not to say I don't like counseling. Sometimes I just don't like talking. So there's a difference.
Okay, and talking about feelings.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. But it's okay, because guess what? When you bring, God cannot heal what's not revealed. Mm-hmm. So when you bring something to the light, we don't play Blue's Clues. He doesn't know if I'm feeling something on the inside, because I might not want to bother him about it. So he might say something that's a trigger for me. So when you bring it to the light, if you have that third party that might ask you something that you're not thinking, then it can be revealed, it can be healed. So there's nothing wrong with a marriage check-in.
There's absolutely nothing wrong.
You go to your doctor for check-ins.
I give her grief just because she likes to do these check-ins at 11:59 at night, and I'm sleeping.
But you go. That's not a good time, I know. But you go to your doctor for checkups on your health. Let's go ahead and get checked up for our marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever _man. Absolutely, wise counsel. You just can't go with anybody, because not everybody's going to understand your situation and be objective. And then you don't know what kind of backing or foundation they have to speak into your life or speak into your marriage. So you definitely have to kind of weigh that out if you're going to go speak with a counselor. What foundation does that person have? What backing, what education does that person have? So it's definitely something you have to consider.
Oh, because I will go and ask them to know Jesus. I sure do.
She does.
Because I need to know. Because the counselor, I feel like they're there, but they're getting information fed into them too. So who is giving you information to help me when you go to intercede for me? And so I do want to know, a lot of times because if I start talking spiritual, I can't have you looking at me like I'm crazy. So it's okay to know what your counselor believes in, because you want to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there are some that specialize in certain areas like that too.
It sure is. And then before we leave, just marriage, the ICU marriage cruise. Cabins are really booked. I am there is a couple people that do want some cabins. If you are a person that did not book the cruise, but you really want the cruise, please inbox us or text me or something, because I am trying to add a couple more cabins because they are booked, and I want people to come. It's going to be an intimate affair. It's not long at all. Don't worry about being on top of water. You won't probably even know you're on the water, and it's going to be fun. You'll get to be in Bimini, Bahamas. So all day you could do that. You can still do the excursions, and it will just be a couple of days that we have some couple of things scheduled. So it's always good to take in and pour into, and also because I love it because you all even bless us. So pour into other couples and receive from other couples. So we're helpers one to another. None of us knows it all. So we are truly helpers one to another.
Absolutely. So this is our takeaway for today. Watch being on autopilot because you don't know what's coming up. All right?
You don't know what's coming. You don't know what the road is.
It's okay for a season, but you got to watch being on autopilot for too long.
Okay. That's good.
All right. So thank you guys for coming. We appreciate your time on today. See, we're on a good hour today. But thank you for coming. And again, go ahead, like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Post this link on Facebook because that, again, does help our channel grow. And we will definitely see you guys on our next live on our next Marriage Monday.
Which is next Monday.
Next Monday at 8 p.m.
Have a great one. Good night.